and welcome. Today I'd like to talk to you about the yes I can, the things that people can say to themselves to achieve the life of their dreams. Now, as you might think, why many people they still living, actually the majority of people still living in a life of struggle, in a life of misery, in a life that is existence more than life? Well, I have to tell you that since we were born, we've been programming by our families, by the society around us, by the culture we lived in. Our brothers, sisters, teachers, all together contribute to install these limiting patterns in our mind. In fact, there's many studies, and one especially in particular, that says that if you were born on an average family, quite productive and quite positive as well, but where lots of information was going on, you would have heard the word no at least 148,000 times. Now, this is, you just can imagine what it means over time, over and over again, listening to day after day after day, how can it shapes your reality. Now, when you are a boy, when you are a baby, your brain is actually open like a flower and is receptive to every stimulus coming from the external reality till probably 7-8 years old, when it gets everything for granted and then start closing and then personalize the pattern and start living with those patterns. Now, if the words and the messages that you've been hearing most of the time, they were, you shouldn't do this, son, you don't have to do that, sorry, you can't do this, this is probably not good, you see, life, you have to work, and work is hard, and you just leave, you get a job, and that's it. All these patterns, well, no wonder why when you're gonna live your life, all your life, in the same way. Now, because our brain is so powerful, he actually able to absorb every input we give it to him. So now, if we gave him the bad input, now how can we change towards a good input? Now, I'll give you an example. When you drink water, you know that you have to drink water, pure water. You wouldn't go and get from your mom cupboard, I don't know, some detergent and drink some detergent, would you? Never happen like that. Why? Because your subconscious mind knows that that is harmful to you. Now, if you've been told by your parents that smoking is harmful, and you actually been associating the image of smoking to death and to the people they die, well, you probably been lucky, not lucky, but on a good path that you probably never pick up a cigarette in your life. But unfortunately, there are some areas where they've been really, really, really controversial, and unfortunately we picked up really, really wrong messages. And just to give you some example, it could be around money, it could be around relationships, could be around financial freedom, it could be about anything really, about health, about the food we eat. So really the message I'd like to give you today is it's kind of a homework. Think about every single day what's the recorder inside your head telling yourself. Like when you wake up in the morning, what does keep telling yourself? What's the inner chatter that you have in yourself? And the story, and it's a bullshit story, and you keep repeating yourself on what you cannot do, what you cannot do, what you cannot do. Now, it's been proven, and is a matter of fact that the biggest master of all times, they all agree with, we do become what we consistently focus on. So now, if you, day by day, hour by hour, minute by minute, it's all about step, right, that you're putting in. You focus on what you don't want, what you don't want to see in yourself, in a kind of an escape way, well, your reality, I'm sorry, but is going to be really, really mere and sad. The good thing is, though, that this amazing thing that we call our mind is mind-boggling. I mean, he will make a supercomputer look like a toy. In fact, we can reprogram it. It will take lots of time but we can reprogram it by just installing new patterns, new positive patterns. Now, of course, probably proportionally to how long you've been telling yourself the bad story, the probably harder will be to install the new patterns. But the fact is that repetition is the mother of all skill. If you start first changing your patterns, as you start changing the no I can't to the yes I can, and yes I can do that, and start associating and good thing, and start praising yourself, showing gratitude every day to yourself and the people around you, and you keep doing that, keep feeding that new idea, because the subconscious mind will try to get back. Why? Because you have this massive old paradigm that is still there. So the old paradigm, it won't go away for few time. It will keep staying there. The only thing you need to do is will to persist and be patient and keep feeding that new idea in your mind. And then sooner you start realizing that things that before they were so hard for you to do it, they will start coming really quickly. Example, some people that they want to lose 30 pounds, and for them, like, even the thought of exercising is just something that is ridiculous. I mean, they've been overweight all their life, and just the thought of exercise, they say, oh, there's never I can do that. Now, the moment that they start changing the association of the exercise, instead of being a pain, they start associating with pleasure, everything starts changing. And sure enough, not long after, exercise will become part of their routine, such as brushing their teeth in the morning or having a shower every day. Really, everything gets dictated by the input and the association we put into our mind. Now, I was surprised. I'll give you an example. A few days ago, I was in town and I saw one guy. I was sitting down having breakfast, and I saw one guy systematically and really precisely stacking up motorbikes, so parking motorbikes and just placing them with an incredible order, one by another. And then I stopped and I thought, this guy is quite incredible. I mean, he's doing a thing that probably for most of the people is quite insignificant, and probably for him too. In fact, he didn't seem the most happy person, but he was doing the thing with so much precision and rhythm and consistency. It was just ignite the engine and go and drive, and without even waiting to stop the motorbike, he was already the pedestal down, and the motorbike was already parked. Now, I thought, this is incredible. Now, what is telling me this example? This example is telling me a really simple thing, that the human mind is so incredible that it is able to pick up through repetition every single patterns will train him to do, whether it's of course through a mental patterns, it become a physical pattern. Now, the problem is that probably that guy wasn't even aware of what he was doing, and most of the people, unfortunately, they don't even know that they don't know that they can change. And think about changing the pattern that can be quite insignificant, like parking motorbikes, changing the pattern to say, I can be successful in my life. I can live the life of my dream. I can quit my job today because the job is not serving me and is making me pain, and I'm not living a truthful life. I can go and ask for the guy for the date. I can go and change city because I don't want to live here anymore. I can make that extra money in my job. I can have financial freedom. So all these things are just messages that are going within our mind. So I'm leaving you with this. Don't be real. Don't be real. Dream high. Because reality, by the way, many of the high visionaries have agreed that reality is actually what we perceive, but reality really doesn't exist. Like, we in fact can bend reality just by our power of our mind. In fact, on a quantum point of view, reality is just a whole. It's just nothingness. In fact, we are nothingness too. So if you think about it, you can just focus on what you want and really dream high, dream big. Don't think about people that they're leaving you down and they're letting you down. You unleash so much power that you start thinking and saying to yourself every day, yes, I can. Thank you. Share this video if you liked it, and I'll see you next time.